I think in a lot of ways we've been grappling with the stagflationary environment in the U.S. for a lot of 2022. Growth has been slowing. Inflation's been at 40-year highs. So that really is sort of the definition of a stagflationary environment. And even beyond the recession that we're forecasting, we don't see really robust growth towards the tail end of 2023. We expect inflation to remain above the Fed's 2% target. So even after the recession, there will be sort of wafts of stagflation in the U.S. as well. I don't know, Ataman, what's your take on that for the global economy?
Yeah, well, the key features, I think, really globally is the high inflation period. And then in response to that, many central banks around the world have been raising interest rates, right? So high inflation, rising interest rates. Rising interest rates will eventually slow economic growth. But as Erik, you mentioned, we don't expect inflation to come down to what it used to be. So we will still be dealing with a higher inflation period compared to the earlier decades. And that is unusual. And that might come hand in hand with the lower growth environment that we're finding ourselves in. So, you know, that's also underlying these concerns about a global recession, which obviously means that a majority of economies are going to be experiencing that low growth environment together with high inflation. At the same time, you know, our baseline scenario is more akin to a growth slowdown. That's what our numbers are showing us. But there are a number of downside scenarios that we've been developing. And the driving forces listed on the right there is probably familiar to many of us, you know, inflation and interest rates, but also we have still supply chain disruptions continuing, and they're not going to be resolved very quickly. And some of the ways to address those by increasing supply capacity, like building semiconductor factories in the US, for example, take some time to yield fruit. So it is not a sort of immediate solution to supply chain problems. Similarly, the energy supply crunch, especially for European economies, is a major problem. And we may be faced with other geopolitical shocks with the fallout from the war in Ukraine. Again, could be very disruptive, creating a highly uncertain time period. And all that global uncertainty really holds back business spending, new investments. And you know, while business leaders are telling us that they're not planning to lay off their workforces, at least in the near term, they do expect a recession, and they respond to that uncertain environment by holding back their productive activities or investment activities. So I think we are susceptible in this environment to a number of financial and policy shocks. And I think there's more turbulence to come ahead.